Hi guys, welcome to Tailor-Made Scale Modeling. This is another episode of Back in Time. This build originated in a campaign made for Kitmaker Network a couple of years ago. It was called Blitz 3 Italy. The campaign guidelines said to build any vehicle that was used by the Allies or the Axis powers during the Italian campaign. I had the Academy M18 Hellcat with a couple of Verlinden detail sets and figures in my stash for I don't know how long, probably a decade. So I thought it would be the perfect occasion to get away from ship modeling and try something different and build a diorama with an armor kit. Knowing myself quite well, I thought that it would be wise to start with the accessories and the base and so on before starting to build the tank, because I tend to tire of projects as soon as the centerpiece is finished. So went straight to work and started with the Street with Park Wall by Mini Art. I love the mini art kits, I can tell you that. I have built a number of them by now, and they're just a lot of fun, and basically they can be assembled within an afternoon, but if you want them really to get to speed of a great project, you need to add a bit of extra work. You can clearly see this is my first ever 35th scale diorama. The debris and the stuff that I put behind the park wall looks like it's been put there deliberately. It lacks a bit of the nature touch, really, but I thought for the time it was quite a good achievement. Among the additions for the base, I added a different style of street lantern, and I put wines made from photo etch by Lion Raw to the park wall, which was a bit of an experience to do, but in the end it turned out to be fun, and they greatly enhance the overall appearance of that bit of wall. The civilians were supplied by a Polish company called Adalbertus, while the tank crew is from Hobbyfan. All the figures went together very well. I had to use little or no filler at all, and all figures are painted with Vallejo paints. The shells are 75mm ammunition from Tamiya. Unfortunately, I didn't find any suitable ammunition for the M18. Very obviously, I'm not a figure painter. I had big difficulties to get the faces look natural, and here in these pictures you can see how big the eyes are, and I had to go back several times before they were quite up to a normal standard. The crates and the stowage were from different companies such as Verlinden and Hobbyfan. I used a pushcart from Tamiya. The same set contained the basket and the bottles and some other stuff that was placed onto the diorama. With all the goodies surrounding the diorama finished, I finally turned my attention to building the tank. The tracks are from Modellkasten, and it was the first time I ever used them. It was a good experience, even though I think they lack the heavy pull that fuel replacement tracks supply. When opening the box, I had an unpleasant surprise with the Verlinden interior detail set for the Academy M18 Hellcat, because there was no construction notes inside. There was no way of telling how the parts were meant to go together, so I totally had to resort to my reference at hand. The exterior part of the Verlinden set were pretty much self-explaining, and it did not require too much experience to put them on. Even though I decided to use the rear plate from the Verlinden kit, today I am not really sure if that was necessary at all. If I recall correctly, the one supplied in the kit was about the same quality as the resin part. Due to the lack of instruction building the turret and the turret interior with the Verlinden kit, it took another trick or two because I didn't really know how to place things and how to alter the kit. Finally I managed, because I had quite good reference at hand, and there's a lot of good information on the M18 Hellcat on the internet to be found. I'm not making a secret of it. I do not really like the painting process in modeling. I like the construction bit, but painting, I always fear that I leave fingerprints behind or mess up the paint with using wrong thinners and finishes and so on. I just do not feel comfortable around the paints. However, the Hellcat came together quite nicely. I had used mostly Vallejo paints and self-made washes. However, the painting process went reasonably well. Even the fact that I had to hand cut the mask for the recognition marking for this tank, number 22 of the 805th Tank Destroyer Battalion. With the weathering finished, I just needed to add all the stowage to the tank as well as the tracks. Unfortunately, I let the tracks a little bit too long, so they're not as tight as they should fit for the usual M18 as you can see them in the field. With all components finished, it was time to compose the diorama. The crew is replenishing the tank commander is standing watch, while a civilian uses the calm moment to get some water for the household or something like that. I am a slow builder, there's no secret about it. It took me about 3.5 months to finish this build, including the diorama base. For a first try, I think it was quite okay, even though I think especially the landscape of the base could be improved greatly with more natural appearance. However, one has to allow oneself a little bit of a learning curve, and for a first try this wasn't so bad. With this I finish and say thank you very much for checking in to this Back in Time feature. I hope to see you soon back here on my channel. Bye bye.